Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kerbal Space Program with me, Matthias Weiss, and today we are continuing our Munbase series. But the launch I'm doing today is not for the Munbase directly. We are putting our first station module in orbit around the Moon. I'm using here the standard station core, which I also used for my Kerbal space station in the orbit around Kerbin. And yeah, we're ready for liftoff, so as it will take some time, I will start the launch here. Yeah, as you can see, I'm using a standard launch vehicle, which I use for a slight modification for almost every spaceship in the last few months. And I already tested it in a previous mission. I did not have to modify it in any way. I could use it directly to launch into Munar orbit. So what you see here is a standard onion shell design launch stage, which is pretty effective. The current mass of our vessel is around 400 tons, and at the moment we are generating a total thrust of 6,660 kilonewton. The first stage will bring us up to around 10 kilometers, where the outer shell will just fall off. And as you can see here, if you look at these crossed fuel lines, I had to do it this way because the tanks are draining not symmetrical. I don't know why, but these double coupling devices sometimes don't work, so I had to cross them here so that everything works fine. We also have an escape tower on our launch vehicle in case something goes wrong, but to be honest, I never had to use it. Only in my test mission where I fired it up on purpose. Okay, we are around 9.5 kilometers, 10 kilometers now, and 3 seconds until our first stage will burn out. And it is burned out. And the good thing is, it's more accidents than planned, but it directly burns out before we start our gravity turn, so I don't need separatrons on this stage. The next stage has separatrons on it, so nothing goes wrong. Okay, while we are watching our descent in the our ascent in the night, let's talk about our main station hub we have here. It consists of a lander can here on one end, then a hitchhiker container, RCS fuel module for station control, 2 solar panels for energy supply, another hitchhiker container, and of course a multi-docking node to attach other modules later. And of course some lamps, which makes docking on the dark side easier. And on top of the station module, you have of course a small spacecraft with a 3-man crew, which is capable to return to Kerbin when once the mission is finished. Okay. Few seconds until our next stage burns out, and there it goes. Normally I build my spacecraft totally junk free, so I mean that once you decouple the last module, you can still, with the left fuel in it, you can still bring it on a deorbit course and let it crash on a planetary body. But this ship is has one thing which will stay in space, and this is this decoupler, including the shell. I didn't find a way to do it any nicer, so this one will leave a little bit of space junk around the moon, but that's not really an issue. Okay. The apoapsis is at 100 km for our parking orbit. And so we're warping there. So now we are outside the atmosphere and can extend the solar panel on our main ship. Oh wait, let's fire off the escape tower first, so it can crash back on to Kerbin. There we are in our parking orbit. So let's only 260 seconds to the moon transfer point. That's great. Let's just warp there and fly directly to the moon. Yeah, and as you can see, it's from 100 kilometer orbit. It's the same as if you do it without Mechjeb. You have just wait for the moon to rise on the horizon and fire up your engines again. Our desired final periapsis around the moon is 100 kilometers. So let's get there. I use the same, as I said earlier, I used the same spacecraft to bring my first module of the Kerbal space station into orbit. And I will also use the other parts for my moon base, as for my moon station as well. Maybe it was a little, some little adjustments, because I don't want to make it as big as a KSS in orbit around Kerbin. Okay, predicted periapsis after transfer to the moon is 97 kilometers, and we have 24 seconds of fuel left in this stage. So let's warp to sphere of influence switch. Let's see, where's the moon? There's the moon. Where is the moon? Okay. Can now directly warp to the periapsis. Lead time of 30 seconds, just we don't pass it. Skirbin, and where is the moon? There is the moon. Okay. What we can do now is let's go a little bit further. We want to circularize at 100 kilometers. This should be fine. We will adjust the orbit later with our spacecraft, which is docked at the front of our vehicle at the moment. But for now we can use some fuel of the booster to bring us into orbit. So the inclination is wonderful, almost no inclination at all. So we are in orbit, and now we can jettison the booster. And before we do anything else, let's go into the map mode. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So now we are controlling this one, and all we have to do now is lower our periapsis so that we crash down on the moon. That's enough. So no space junk until now. Switch back to the MSS. And now it's time to decouple. Activate the RSS. Turn around. Just a standard docking maneuver. And we're docked. Yeah, now we have to leave space junk here. So next stage is this decoupler ring, which will sadly be left in space here. So do now is okay. Periapsis is at 100 kilometers. Move there and circularize it. Come as close as 100 kilometers as possible. Okay, that's it. Can now extend our solar panels. kill the rotation. And let's transfer one of the Kerbals over to the space station as a first crew member. All we have to do now is undock and use the maneuver node system to set us a course back to Kerbin. Can shift it a little bit. There we have it. A free trade. Okay. This is looking good. So we have another feature. We can, with the new version of Mechjeb, we can warp directly to the maneuver node using time warp here. Save some time. Okay, that's it. Let's see. Yep, we are on a return trajectory. So we can kill the maneuver node and let's just switch back to our ship and name it. So all we have to do now is hit warp. Take a last look at the moon. Before we come around Kerbin for our landing. There we are, inside the atmosphere again. Let's accelerate. Physics mode here. Whoa, that was close. Coming down in the middle of the ocean. And yeah, that was a really quick but successful mission. And the first step in building up our Munar space station, and of course in a second step to extend our Munar base. So the next two episodes will probably be or the next episode will be about extending our space station. But after that I will use my skycrane to drop down some other modules around the moon. So yeah, it's not really a space station, it's only a station core right now. But it's a beautiful view, and let's have our lights. So the first important step is done, and thank you for watching. And I wish you a nice day. See you next time. Fly safe. My name is Matthias Weiß. Bye bye.